Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me, Fatima Khan, Business Wali. I am a student of Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute, Batch 22. So today I'm going to discuss a very important topic. The topic is how to set boundaries in relationship and stay true to yourself. So today we will learn about this topic from ChatGPT. So let's start. Hello ChatGPT.
Hey, I'm here and ready to help. What's on your mind today?
So today I want to learn about the topic is how to set boundaries in relationship and stay true to yourself.
That's a really important topic. I'm glad you want to dive into it. Are you thinking more about personal boundaries or maybe boundaries in communication or even balancing independence and togetherness?
So my first question is this: what does setting healthy boundaries in a relationship mean to you?
Ooh, that's a really good starting point. For me, setting healthy boundaries is all about knowing what I need to feel safe and respected and then communicating that clearly without fear of being judged. It's like a balance between being close and staying true to yourself. What about you? How do you see it?
Why are boundaries important for emotional well-being?
Absolutely. They're super important. When you have those boundaries, you actually protect your own emotional space. So you're not constantly giving too much or feeling drained. It's kind of like giving yourself permission to say, hey, I deserve to be okay too.
How can someone identify when their boundaries are being crossed?
Yeah, that's a big one. Usually you can tell when you start feeling uncomfortable, drained, or maybe even resentful. If you notice you're doing things you don't really want to, or you're feeling like you have to justify yourself a lot, those are definitely signs.
What are some common signs of weak personal boundaries?
Yeah, for sure. Some big ones are things like overcommitting, constantly saying yes even when you don't have the energy, or feeling like you can't express your real needs because you're scared of conflict. It's kind of like a subtle tension that builds over time.
How can a person clearly communicate their boundaries without hurting others?
That's a great question. I think the key is using I statements. So focusing on how you feel, like I need some time for myself, rather than blaming them. And you can keep the tone calm and kind, so it's more about your needs, not their faults.
What is the difference between healthy boundaries and being selfish?
Yeah, that's a really subtle line. Healthy boundaries are about protecting your well being and staying true to yourself, but you're still considerate of others. Being selfish, on the other hand, is kind of disregarding others' needs entirely. So it's really about balance and intention.
What role does self respect play in maintaining boundaries?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, self awareness is like the foundation. If you know what you're feeling and what you need, you're better at setting those limits. And when you respect yourself, it kind of gives others a model for how to treat you too.
How do cultural value affect boundary setting in relationship?
Yeah, that's a big one. Different cultures have different expectations about things like closeness, respect, or independence. So someone might have really different ideas about what a boundary even is, depending on their background. It's all about being mindful and open, especially if you come from different cultural contexts.
How can someone stay firm on their boundaries without feeling guilty?
That's a tough one, but I think it helps to remind yourself that your needs are just as valid as anyone else's. So when you set a boundary, you can say it kindly, you can stick to it, and you can remind yourself that it's not selfish, it's self care.
Okay, so what are some practical ways to say no respectfully?
Yeah, for sure. You can keep it simple. Just say, I can't do that right now, or I need to take a step back. You don't have to over explain, just be direct and polite. And if you want, you can offer a different time or a different way to help, but keep it firm.
How do you handle people who repeatedly ignore your boundaries?
Yeah, that can be really frustrating. I think the key is being consistent. So if they push back, calmly repeat your boundary and maybe limit how much access they have to you. And if it keeps happening, you might need to step back a bit or get some outside support, like a friend or a trusted adult.
Okay, can boundaries strengthen a friendship relationship?
Oh, totally. I mean, when both people know what's okay and what's not, it actually builds trust. You feel safe being yourself and you know your friend respects you, so it kind of deepens the connection in a way.
What mistakes do people usually make when setting boundaries?
Yeah, that's a big one. It's super important to be clear and kind, but also firm. And I think it really helps if you remember you're not responsible for other people's reactions. You just stay true to yourself, and hopefully they'll respect that.
Okay, how can someone rebuild boundaries after they have been broken?
Yeah, that takes some patience. I think it starts with a conversation, being honest about what's changed and what you need now. And then you kind of reaffirm those boundaries step by step, staying consistent, even if it feels a little awkward at first.
What is emotional boundary setting in relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. Emotional boundaries are crucial. They help you protect your feelings, avoid being overwhelmed, and make sure you're not carrying the emotional weight that's not yours. So they keep the relationship healthy and balanced.
How can social media affect personal boundaries today?
Yeah, for sure. Social media can really blur those lines. I think it helps to be intentional, like choosing what you share, setting limits on how much you engage, and being clear with yourself about what you're comfortable with.
I'm saying, how can social media affect personal boundaries today?
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, it can have a big impact. It's so easy to feel like you need to be always available or constantly responding, but that can really stretch your boundaries. So it's important to set limits, like deciding when you'll check it and when you'll take a break.
How do you balance love and personal space in relationship?
Ooh, that's a really good balance to strike. I think it comes down to communication. So you can stay close, but also make space for your own activities, friendships, and self care. It's like a dance. You check in, you see what feels right, and you adjust as you go.
Okay, so what is the role of self-awareness in setting boundaries?
Yeah, self awareness is kind of the foundation. When you really understand what you need, what makes you uncomfortable, or what you value, it's so much easier to set those boundaries confidently. Without that self knowledge, you kind of just react and things get blurry.
How can someone deal with guilt after setting boundaries?
Yeah, that's really tough. I think it helps to remind yourself that the guilt is natural, but it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Just give yourself compassion, stay consistent, and over time, the guilt usually fades as you see how much better things feel.
What are healthy boundaries in friendship?
Yeah, in friendships, healthy boundaries are all about balance, being close, but also respecting each other's time, energy, and personal space. It might mean setting limits on how often you hang out or being open about what you're comfortable with.
How can parents teach children about personal boundaries?
Yeah, it's super important, but it can be really age appropriate. For younger kids, it's about teaching them that it's okay to say no or to ask for space. And as they get older, you can talk more about emotional boundaries and how to advocate for themselves in different situations.
What are red flags that indicate boundaries violations?
Yeah, definitely. So it might look like ignoring their no, constantly pushing them to do something they're not comfortable with, or making them feel guilty for setting a limit. That's when you really have to step in and reinforce what you've said.
How can strong boundaries improve mental health?
Oh, they're so powerful for mental health. When you have strong boundaries, you avoid burnout, you reduce resentment, and you feel more in control of your life. So you're less stressed, more at peace, and just generally more resilient.
What is the connection between self worth and boundaries?
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a strong sense of self worth, it's easier to recognize what you deserve and to stick to your boundaries. So the more you value yourself, the less likely you are to let others cross those lines.
Okay, so how do we respond when someone gets upset about our boundaries?
Yeah, that can be really tricky. I think the best approach is to stay calm and reaffirm that your boundary is about your needs, not a rejection of them. You can say something like, I care about you, but this is what I need to feel okay. And just leave it at that. No need to over explain.
Can boundaries change over time in relationships?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as you grow, your needs and comfort levels might change, so boundaries can evolve. The key is staying in tune with yourself and having those open conversations if something feels off or different.
How do you set boundaries at work while maintaining professionalism?
Yeah, that's a really important balance. I think you keep it professional by being clear and specific, like setting limits on after hours work or how much extra you can take on, and you just keep your tone polite and firm. That way, you're advocating for yourself without being rude or disengaged.
Okay, thank you, ChatGPT, for a great conversation.
Of course, I'm really
So that's all about the uh, conversation. I hope you learned something new in this conversation. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. Allah Hafiz.